Okay, so we're here to work with Samson, and I just got done chatting with Samson's guardians about the issues that we have that we want to work with. I asked what kind of rules we had, and we have a couple of rules, but we're going to talk off camera about some additional rules and structure that we can incorporate. One of the problems that Samson had initially, he's not doing it here in the house anymore, but he was marking and having some accidents in the house. Maybe accidents in the house instead of marking. I'm not sure which one it was. And I asked the guardian what the command word was for potty, and it turns out that we don't have a command word for potty. Now, this is a pretty common mistake that a lot of people have, and it makes it difficult for us to communicate if we don't have a common vocabulary. So I use the word business. You can use any word that you want. The way that I do it is when I take the dog outside or anywhere that it has the ability to eliminate, and there are 3 times the dog's going to be more apt to eliminate: after waking up, after eating, and after heavy playtime. So after any 3 of those activities, within about 5 minutes afterwards, we should take the dog outside, have a high-value treat in our pocket so we can reward the dog, and then we're basically going to give them an opportunity to go. Now, a lot of people think, I'll put my dog in the backyard and I'll leave it there for an hour and then reel it back in, and then he peed. Well, it's not the amount of time that the dog has. A lot of dogs, if they don't go within 5 minutes, they don't have as much of a need to go to motivate them. So we take them outside for 5 minutes. If they don't eliminate, we bring them back inside. And if we worry about them having an accident in the house, I either put them on a leash and hold the leash for the next 15 to 30 minutes, or I put them in a kennel if the dog is kennel trained. Then after that, I give the dog another 5-minute opportunity to go. I keep on repeating this process until the dog eventually eliminates. Now, as soon as the dog starts to pee or poop, I, in a normal tone of voice, say business, or whatever the word is. Now, a lot of times when our dog is having accidents in the house and it starts going outside, we go, business, business, business. You know, we put so much excitement in it because we're like, thank you for not peeing in my house. But that excitement will often interrupt the dog and they won't completely evacuate their bladder. So when you want to say it in a normal tone of voice, a little bit of sugar in your voice, business, but that's about it. Just one time. And that's the only word we're going to say. When they get done eliminating, then we want to say, I usually crouch down into kind of a baseball catcher's position. So I'm going to squat with my knees spread, facing the dog, and I have a treat like this, and I usually offer the dog a treat, and I say, call the dog by name, and when the dog comes over to me, I pop it in its mouth, and I say business at the same second that it touches their lips. That's really important, that they hear the command word the same exact time that the treat touches their lips. That's what connects the reward with the command. And because we said the command word when the dog started eliminating, that connects it with the act of urinating or defecating. So if we do this regimen every time the dog eliminates for about a week, then after a week the dog starts connected, and then when you say business and the dog goes, then you go, yes, that dog has to potty. But if you say business and the dog just kind of looks, then you know, no, he doesn't really have to go. So establishing that communication that language will make it a lot easier for us to be able to communicate that a dog needs to go. Then we can do things like teaching it to ring a bell when it wants to go outside and things along those lines. Now, 2 mistakes that the guardian made that I wanted to make sure I point out because these are very common mistakes that a lot of people make. Rubbing a dog's nose in urine will make it potty training worse. It will not help it. There have been hundreds of studies done and never has a single one of them shown that rubbing the dog's nose does anything positive. It is something that everybody hears about and a lot of people practice. Unfortunately, it will make it usually worse. The other thing you don't want to do is chastise the dog if it has an accident in the house. What you mean to say is don't potty in the house. What the dog hears is don't potty. The dog's like, well, I have to potty. So the human is being unreasonable about this, so I can't do it in front of them. I'm going to go hide behind the chair or the couch and pee there. And that gets very frustrating for the humans. Now, one last little bit about this. A lot of people come home and the guardian said the same thing. They find an accident and they point it out to the dog. The dog kind of lowers its head and kind of hunches over. This is called appeasement. And a lot of people tell me, look how guilty he is. He knows he did the wrong thing. Dogs do not feel guilt about this. You have a window of about 3 seconds to reward or correct them. So if he peed and an hour later you walk in the door, they are making absolutely no connection. What they're interpreting is sometimes when a human comes home, they are very mad. So what you'll find is in those sort of situations, the dog will usually not greet you at the door. If it greets you at the door, it's kind of sideways and it's wagging its tail low and to the side in a circle, and it kind of doesn't look at you, and it's a little timid because it's not sure. Is this one of the days where you come home and be upset, or are you going to be a happy guardian? And so this is why it's really frustrating, but you can't punish a dog for potty training mistakes. It has been conclusively proven it does not help. The best thing to do is have a high value reward. I use the Tricky Trainer chicken livers, and reward them right after going, within 3 seconds of them eliminating, popping that treat in their mouth, saying the command word. You can pet them and stroke them a little bit, but we want them to understand you're very happy about it. Now, if you have a particularly troubled dog that's having accidents inside and the outside, sometimes I'll actually tell people the first couple times you do it, give him 5 treats in a row after he gets done. Business, 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 business. I want the dog to be like, what did I just do? Because I just won the jackpot of doggy treats, and I got to remember what I did so I can get those again. If we do that a couple times in a row, now we give them a motivation to go outside. If I go outside, I get these really tasty treats. If I go inside, nothing happens. Well, I'm going to go outside where I get paid for my performance. That is how we train our dogs to potty on command. All right, if you want to press the red button.